Hey everybody, my name is Nick Bumgarner. I'd like to set something straight right quick. There is no such thing as constitutional rights. I'm going to say that again so that you can quote me exactly right on that. There is no such thing as constitutional rights. However, there are a certain set of rights that are labeled unalienable rights. That means that those rights were endowed upon you by the Creator. Whatever you understand that to mean, it's supposed to be open for your interpretation as well. Now, all you guys out there with cameras filming cops, doing your First Amendment test or whatever you want to call it, get your facts straight. So many times I see you guys working on statutory law. Well, if you submit yourself to statutory law, then you're going to be subject to all statutory law, whether or not it's constitutionally sound. Keep that in mind. The Constitution was wrote to be, first of all, to declare that we as individuals are endowed with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and property. It was not constructed to grant rights to the people, but instead grant powers to the government. That means that if the Constitution doesn't explicitly state that the government can do something, then technically they're prohibited from doing so. The Bill of Rights was actually the first 10 amendments that were added onto the Constitution in 1791. It was added because of two different ways in which the Constitution itself was interpreted. One being the Federalist point of view, the other being the Anti-Federalist point of view. Federalists look at it like the Constitution limits the power of the government, while the Anti-Federalists view it as granting power to the government. Alright? The Anti-Federalists were afraid that if they didn't include the Bill of Rights, then the Federalists would overstep their boundaries and start taking away unalienable rights. You have a right to life and to protect your life and your family's lives. That's where the Second Amendment comes from. You also have a right to property and to protect your property. Another reason for the Second Amendment. Now we also have the right to liberty. All of the people saying that the Second Amendment is there to grant power to a militia and not to the people, let's get this straight. The Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. At any time the Constitution uses the phrase the people, it's talking about the people. If it's ever talking about a branch of government, it will use phrases like executive officers or legislative officers or something to that nature. Now, if you want a real understanding of what unalienable rights are, there's a volume that's been hidden from the spotlight. It's called Commentaries on the Laws of England by Sir William Blackstone. It was wrote before the Constitution and was the foundation for law in colonial America. Yeah, it used the word England. If you think back, it was English Colonies. That's the reason for that. But the important part is that this 4-book volume is also the #1 resource in the construction of our Constitution, and it holds all the definitions of unalienable rights. So before you guys take your cameras back out there and argue with cops about the law, maybe you should research this and actually know what you're talking about before you do. You guys have a good day.